You know what? It's time. In 1993, the Wu-Tang Clan dropped arguably one of the greatest rap albums of all time and one of my personal favorites, Enter the 36 Chambers, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the songs on it from least to most favorite and why. I figured this would be the best way to send off Wu-Bruary to take an intimate look at this masterpiece of hip-hop. It's a great gambit of what I would mostly describe as a rap version of King of the Hill. The bars are great. There's some great serious subject matter, and the production is top-notch. If you haven't heard this album, give it a spin. But let's go ahead and kick off this list. Now, if I'm putting something on the bottom out of the pantheon of this track listing, I feel like Seventh Chamber Part 2 is the most obvious pick, because it's just a remix of a song that happens earlier on the record with a different intro. But, I mean, the original's fine. Part 1's great. You'll see it a couple notches higher. But if I'm putting something on the bottom of this ranking, it's going to be Seventh Chamber Part 2. It's not a bad song. I like the song itself. I like the beat on the original, on the first version more. But I think that the second version's fine. It's just if I'm ranking the entire album from least to most favorite, it is my least favorite song, just because I've already heard it earlier in the track listing with a better beat and with a better intro. Not that I hate Clan on the front, but it'll make a lot more sense why this is on the bottom too in just a second. It's a great posse cut. You'll see it again. Hear me talk about it a little more intimately, but yeah, I felt like this is the most obvious pick.
Say fuck that shit! Oh shit, motherfucker! I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
Bring the Ruckus, when I originally was making this ranking, was a lot higher, but the more that I sat with the song and comparing it to the rest of the album, it just kept etching itself lower and lower and lower. But I don't think it's a bad song. You know, a bit of a story time. Back in like 2015, we had a party at my house for a friend, and I played it like 4 times in a row because I was drunk, and I was wanting to bring the motherfucking Ruckus. It's a great, rambunctious opener to an album, while having reflective points. Is also at its core about just rambunctiousness to its core, adolescent rawness, and that rawness is presented greatly in this opening track. But I just like most of the record above it. It's still a great opener, still a great starting foot for these guys from an album experience. And I think that Ghostface and Raekwon's starting verses bleed really well together. I think Ghostface has some really great bars in there. Just his opener, Ghostface, catch the blast of a hype verse, my Glock burst, leaving a hearse, I did worse. That's a fucking great rhyme spinning. His ending on the I blow sparks like Waco, Texas, that's a cold-ass bar. Still a fantastic cut from these guys, obviously, but again, when we're breaking down the minutia, the nitpicky nature of these ranking the songs, that would be the reason that it gets set back. That was also the reason why Clan in the Front was honestly always pretty low in this ranking. I love Clan in the Front. I think that RZA and GZA both have great verses on it, and I feel like especially RZA's intro adds to the seediness that the record kind of has oozing from its pores, and the Wu-Tang Killa Bees We on the Swarm part really adds to the sort of call to arms nature that the hook lends to. Again, if I'm nitpicking and breaking down my preferences, I don't like this song as much as the rest of what the record has going on. It's still a really good song, and again, the RZA and GZA have really good chemistry. I think that the beat on it is really, really good. That bass line, that bass loop on the track is fantastic, and again, it fits a lot of what the group has from a philosophical perspective at points, especially with the RZA's contributions. The record just has notches better and has much more going on in the pot that I prefer.
Good morning, Vietnam!
You know, on any other record, Seventh Chamber could have been a much higher entry on this list if we're talking like hip-hop posse cuts, but when the Wu-Tang Clan themselves are just a posse of talented MCs, and this album itself has a handful of really good posse cuts. Seventh Chamber just ends up in this point because it's got some great stuff, and like I said, when comparing it to part 2, I like the beat over this more. I think everyone just kind of flow matches better on it, and I feel like people like Inspect the Deck really get to shine on this track in ways that I feel like showcase their prowess as a rapper. You know, when he spends that, I leave the mic in body bags, my rap style has the force to leave you lost like the tribe of Shabazz. Fucking great spinning there. Going into the shooby-doo-wop, pop strictly hardware, armed to gears because I just broke out the prison, charged by the system for the murder in the rhythm, new lo and behold another deadly episode, about to catch another fucking charge when I explode. Fucking aces way to close out your verse, my guy. ODB on here admittedly isn't as good as he is on other songs in my opinion. He still gets to have his ODB-isms popping up, but I think he does better on other tracks on the record, if I'm being honest. But most of the clan, when they come in here, I feel like they've got that same ferocity that they showcase throughout the record. Again, if I'm just stacking it up against the other posse cuts on here, it's still great. It's not as good as other stuff on here. But like I said, when comparing it to part 1, the beat or compared to part 2, I just think the beat works a lot better personally.
You know, everybody's talking about the good old days, right? Everybody, the good old days, the good old days.
There are a few points in 36 Chambers where the group collectively gets a little more sincere, and Can It Be So Simple, a track that should not be slept on, even if it's at this point in the ranking, shows not only that sincerity in full spades, but also showcases a twosome that continues to be one of the staples and powerhouses within the Wu-Tang Clan as a unit in the form of Ghostface Killah and Raekwon the Chef. Both of them reflecting about their youth and almost how haphazard they can be, and is showcased in more of a joyous aspect on the record, but shows the opposite side of that coin just as poignantly. And I really appreciate the storytelling and imagery on here, the sort of showcasing of how their young lives could be deterred into the wrong direction so easily and so recklessly. I like how the sample really gets heavy usage, similarly to another reflective track that I'll talk about here in a few notches. But again, I think that their chemistry, even on this debut, shines so brightly on this track. I think that it is a fantastic cut, and again, another staple moment in the Wu-Tang catalog as a whole. You know, not only does Ray do a really good job at painting a picture, but Ghostface really calls attention to him and Ray's chemistry and his verse. It's just a great kick open the door of a friendship that continues to seemingly last to this day.
And it's gonna go a little something like this.
One of the best hooks ODB has been associated with a great bouncy beat behind it. Shame also encapsulates a lot of the fun and looseness, the sort of in-and-out nature that some of the songs gravitate with at their core very, very well. You know, the fact that after Method's Man's verse, you only get like half a chorus
before Raekwon comes in with his verse cutting in with some heat in that same sort of, again, King of the Hill style that I'll be talking about a couple more times on this list.
Now, from a sequencing perspective, after the stage settling raw and rugged Bring the Ruckus, that had some shouted vocals that really cemented the listener in this hardcore vibe. I love that from that they break into a lot more of a jovial place that have a lot of fun on the track Shame, a song that sees ODB really thriving in a good pocket and bringing some just incredible fun into the cut.
You know, everything from the Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3, Hut, Old Dirty Bastard, Live and Uncut, Styles Unbreakable, Truth to the Young Youth, If You Got Guns, Shoot, Blow, to the Warriors reference into his second verse. He's just having a lot of fun here, and you love to see it, as is everyone else on the track.
Put the peace signs up. Put the peace signs up. We're gonna do like this one time. 1, 2, yo, we go.
The other truly sincere moment from a sample-driven and storytelling perspective, Tears, sees RZA and Ghostface telling two different sides of a tragic coin with a sample that I talked about in my favorite samples in hip-hop video that I think comes together into this just beautifully sad package. You know, you got the RZA talking about a friend of his that got shot and killed in the streets, and he really paints an image and shows you, really puts you into his mindset incredibly well, while Ghostface talks about the troubles of promiscuity and recklessness throughout that, and having a friend of his contract AIDS and pass away from it. And I really appreciate how this song utilizes that sample, that incredible sample that is used in its hook and throughout the beat, in the almost organ sample in the beat, for the two of them to just channel this misery and sadness incredibly well. I love this song. I think it shows both artists and At Hand's propensity to be good storytellers, and I appreciate what this song does in that, how this song executes it in that regard. I think that it's an instant classic that has a lot of great things going for it, and a record full of energy and a hardcore brash aesthetic. Both times that they really sort of divert from that very intensely, I appreciate in their own regard.
Wu-Tang Clan strikes again. The RZA, the ZZA, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, Raekwon the Chef, Ghostface Killer, U-God, and
the song that would catapult the career of one of the most, I don't want to say accessible, but most spread out member of the Wu-Tang Clan that isn't the RZA, Method Man. I fucking love this song. Method Man, I adore in general. I think he's a really good rapper, and this song is like a tour de force audition for him as a rapper in the industry. There is so much fun playfulness in the bars here. I love the METHOD man in the chorus. I think he really flips the almost jovial, youthful playground vibe into a really rugged edge on here incredibly well, with the patty cake and the Sam I Am I Don't Eat Green Eggs and Ham bars. He's got the hey 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 reference like Fat Albert, and he shows his propensity to be just a catchy songwriter in general outside of the hook with the bridge of I got myself a 40 and myself a shorty and I'm about to go and stick it. Spinning this record a lot for this video. This song I knew was already going to be high, but every spin I gave it put it higher, just because Method Man's talents across the board are showcased on this song, full stop. You know, while I had some choice shit to say about Decal and Wu Massacre, I mean, Method Man really is a great rapper, and it's a track like his own title track that showcases that in full spades.
You must think first, right? Before you move.
The song that's got Master Killer on it and also has U-God kicking down the door with honestly a pretty solid verse. The Mystery of Chex Boxing is another classic Wu-Tang staple at this point. It's another really good posse cut that sees every member jumping in and out, just hitting you with some great bars. You've got the infamous Ghostface Killer from ODB. Got a really good hook from Method Man. You got some incredible letter spinning, word flipping by Raekwon in his verse. After his invokement by ODB himself, you got Ghostface coming in with a razor sharp verse. This is just by the numbers, Wu-Tang excellence, showcasing their propensity for visceral, well-constructed rhymes over an incredible beat by the RZA and a great hook by Method Man. It's a Wu-Tang staple, and I think it instantly became that for me anyway. It's one of my favorite beats the RZA's ever concocted, and I think that everybody here showcases their talents full stop. I'm glad Master Killer's on here, because this is his only place on 36 Chamber, so I'm glad that he's here, and I'm glad that U-God even gets to show some prominence, because he's an artist that, again, is sort of undercut in a lot of instances of Wu-Tang Ephemera. I know he's not my favorite member, but I still love to see him show off his talents when he does.
Break through everything around me. Dollar bill, y'all.
A song that kind of needs little to no introduction, because I think it's easily one of, if not the biggest song that the Wu-Tang Clan has ever dropped. Cream, an acronym for Cash Rules Everything Around Me, an incredible acronym that really cements sort of the mind state when stuck in the lower class, trying to break out of that, or trying to, you know, get past where you started and really get to some greatness. It's a point where the group, again, pulls back some of that rambunctious youthful energy that's combed throughout this entire record and get really sincere and showcase, again, their ability to craft some just great story-driven bars. Raekwon's verse alone, I think, is one of the most iconic the group has ever pulled together. It's something that I feel like sort of transcends the group itself, not just the verses, but the overall messaging of the song itself. I think that it's really purposely done, and I think it's excellently executed. It's another great chorus from Method Man, really laying out Cream and cementing it in there. I think Inspector Deck's verse enhances a lot of that imagery as well. Everyone that's on here just kills it. And again, it's one of those sort of make or break moments to have a song like this and to have it hit the nail on the head so very firmly is incredible. You know, I feel like it doesn't necessarily showcase the group's abilities collectively, but I feel like Raekwon, Meth, and Inspector Deck on here made a classic. And of course, the RZA beat, it's iconic. You know, that piano limping in it helps enhance the sort of mood of the song. And it's overall just got this great harnessing of mood that the guys sort of ride into the sunset very, very well.
Tiger style. Turn the music up.
But when you're talking about a song that embodies the mythos of the Wu-Tang Clan as a whole, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, is that in spades. It may not be my favorite song, but it is still a rugged, raw track with a great beat and a great mantra at its core. It's got that tiger style that I love so very much. This was probably the first song I fell in love with from Wu-Tang Clan that wasn't Cream. I'd heard Cream, obviously, and I heard other stuff going out there, but when I saw this song, partially because of its title, it's so very bold and brash, but everybody in the cut gets just as bold and brash and embodies the messaging of the title so very well. You know, when RZA comes in with the Dr. Doom, prepare for the boom, bam, ah, man, ah, slam, jam and scream like Tarzan, I'll be tossing and flossing, my style is awesome. Like, he just comes into the cut so very well, and Inspector Deck picks up off of that so very well. It showcases the group's chemistry together in spades, a lot like tracks that I've already mentioned that feel more like a posse cut. The fact that all of them have these gang vocals in for the chorus really embodies that group mindset so very well. And Method Man, of course, you know, delivers that rawness as well in his verse. This is just that carnal, primal energy that the group harnesses so very well in a great, you know, ruckus-inducing track. You know, when they talked about bringing a ruckus, it's tracks like this that I feel like we're definitely at the group's core and showcase some raw that they'll give it to you with no trivia. Like cocaine straight from Bolivia.
I smoke on the mic like smoke this old razor. A hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor. Terrorizing dead like two.
But you guys know I had to put Protect Your Neck at the #1 spot, right? It's got that great iconic skit in the opening. It's got a great beat by RZA, and everyone but Master Kill is here delivering some excellence. You know, Inspector Deck swinging into your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. Raekwon's got rhymes built like Schwarzenegger. Method Man is short for Mr. Meth. You God has got his nuts screwed. This has got quotable moments from everybody. ODB's from the Brooklyn Zoo. You know, I wish Master Killer was here, but everything on this track just is, again, pure channeling that King of the Hill rap mindset that I love about this record. Sure, it's not here on every track, but the tracks where it shines so very well. And Protect Your Neck sits at the top of it all as the best embodiment of what the mythos behind this group I feel like is. You know, it's raw, it's energetic, it's got some realness grounded in there, they got some decent hook work, and they've got a whole image they want to paint with every single member of the group. You know, I really enjoy a lot of what this track has to offer. That's why I put it, that's why I used it on my mashup record and mashing it up with the Super Metroid track for the Overgrown Plant area. I think that it's one of the best posse cuts of all time. The only reason why it didn't end up on my posse cuts list is because Master Kill is not here. Triumph has everybody, and they're all doing really great verses. But Protect Your Neck is the best song on 36 Chambers because it pretty much is everybody in the group showcasing why they are great, except for You God a little bit. I wish You God had a little bit more here because his 4 bars, or his 4-measure verse is great. It's in and it's out, but it's got some fun flow switch ups in it, and I appreciate what he's got in tandem with everybody in the group. But still, when looking at the track listing of 36 Chambers, Protect Your Neck is easily the best thing there. It was hard to put some of this list together, but I knew Protect Your Neck was going to be at the top because it's my favorite song on the record. I don't know if it's my favorite Wu-Tang song in general, but it's one of them. And that's my ranking of 36 Chambers. What did you think about it? What did you think of my rankings? How would you rank 36 Chambers? Let me know in the comments down below. But with this, we're going to bring an end to Wu-Bruary. Thank you so much for everybody who joined me this month when looking at the Wu-Tang Clan. Hopefully you enjoyed my dissections of aspects of their career, whether they be albums or comic books or ranking songs in particular. Let me know what you thought of the month in general in the comments down below as well. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general notary content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons if you want to join the ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, or to help drive the community. It's linked in the description. I'm going to get out of here, though. Thank you again so very much for watching. I've been Viral Rack. You guys have good lives and situations, and I'll see you another day.